If you're trying to save money on food, these thrifty meals are here to the rescue. Welcome to Meals with Maria. Did you know that just $15 can get you some amazing, delicious, flavorful meals? I'm using my method of shopping. I am checking the sales, going to multiple stores, and making a list of things that can make 3 delicious meals for just $15. So here's everything that I got at the store. As usual, things kind of go sideways. Once you're there, you have plans that maybe don't go as you initially intended. So I went to 2 different stores. I was able to get these boneless, skinless chicken thighs for $1.99 a pound. I had planned to get 3 pounds for about $6, but the smallest package I could find was for $7.02. So that put me $1 higher on my budget right there. Initially, I was going to buy fresh pasta for $2 on sale, but I ended up getting this fettuccine because it was only $1 for the package of fettuccine, and so that kind of offset the cost of my chicken, and it gave me a lot more pasta. I decided to do the fettuccine because we are going to make like a mushroom pasta type thing, not quite a chicken marsala, but I was able to grab these mushrooms for $1.69 on sale. Mushrooms are a great thing that when they do go on sale, you can throw them in something and they give tons of flavor. So just using kind of what you have on hand as far as spices, oils, butters, things like that, you can make an amazing pasta up with simply using just pasta and mushrooms. Now, I was able to get this salad kit on sale for $2.50. One thing that I look for, and when I usually am doing like a real budget challenge, is the highest calorie option as far as something goes, because if you're already trying to cut down on your costs, you sometimes need more calories. That's up to you how you need to do that. So I grabbed the kit with the highest calorie content, and I'm actually going to use that as a side to our pasta dish. It was quite delicious, and when those go on sale, it makes it a lot easier because you don't have to buy everything else that you need to. I wanted to do like a chicken veggie stir fry. Ended up being cheaper for me to buy a can of diced peas and carrots and do a fried rice than buying like a frozen broccoli. So that's what I ended up doing. That was $1. And then I purchased boil in a bag rice. It would have been actually cheaper for me to buy the 2-pound bag of rice. They're about the same price, but you got a lot more rice for the regular rice. I chose the boil-in bag just for ease, just because it was going to be easier for me, and that made me know that I was going to be able to cook in a quick period of time, especially with young kids around. So I used that for fried rice, and then I also did a chicken and rice dish. So we've got a pasta dish, a chicken and rice dish, and a chicken fried rice, and all of them were absolutely delicious. I'll show you how I made them. Our first dish is a chicken fried rice. We're gonna make this up pretty simply. I just started boiling some water here. We're gonna pop our boil in the bag rice in. I'm gonna do 2 bags. You can do as much as you need. The thing I love about fried rice is that we can kind of cut back on the chicken if we need to, and the rice and the vegetables will make up for it, and it's still a great balanced meal. Now this chicken is going to have to last for 3 days, so I am going to cut back on it a little bit for the meal today. 3 of these boneless, skinless chicken thighs should be plenty of chicken to make an amazing chicken fried rice. I'm also going to dice that chicken really small so that there's a lot more coverage in the rice and so that more bites are actually going to get pieces of chicken. If I had fresh garlic and onion, I would totally use that, but we're just going to use onion powder and garlic powder and salt. Get our chicken seasoned up. You don't need to put a lot of salt on because we're already going to use soy sauce, which is pretty salty. You know, you can be as diligent about the fat as you want to be. So you can use whatever type of oil you have or want with this. I would try and use a higher temperature cooking oil, like a canola oil, vegetable oil. I happen to have this seasoned stir fry oil that I got on sale. You can see 50% off. So happy to have that here, but anything with a higher cooking temperature will be ideal. And I've got this cooking pretty hot, so we're just going to cook up our chicken. Chicken appears to be cooked. We're just going to add in our peas and carrots. I don't feel like it's going to be too many, but there's no such thing as too many vegetables, right? So ideally when you're making fried rice, you actually do the rice ahead of time. You kind of put it in the fridge for a day, and then you take it out and it's like dried out. Like you could actually put it on a cookie sheet, let it dry out in the fridge uncovered, and then put it in, and it's going to be the best fried rice. We're not doing that today because we don't have the time. So this could be the end of your chicken fried rice. Fry it up. We're going to put sauce on it. But because I happen to be at home, I happen to have eggs, I'm going to use them because I have them, and it is delicious with that, but it's totally fine without it. So if you have an egg or 2, you can add it in. If you don't, that's going to be fine as well. You can scramble up your eggs ahead of time, or you can be like me and struggle with them in the well of your wok. They'll cook up quickly though, so I'm not too worried about it.
a little steamy, but that's kind of how you know the eggs are done. They're not sticking to the bottom anymore. You can kind of start to mix them in through the whole thing. So kind of when your rice is pretty much done, you want to add in that soy sauce. I like mine pretty soy saucy, so I'm not going to be afraid. I'm just going to add with the rest of what I had here, maybe a 1/4 cup. You can do less, you can do more. You can even just fry this without that. And if you have packets left over from takeout or something like that, or you got somewhere, you can always get soy sauce at the Dollar Tree, so it's very inexpensive. It's something that I would hope that everybody would have in their regular arsenal of sauces and spices. Chicken fried rice is a super forgiving and budget-friendly meal. Always has been, always will be. And I don't know if you can see this, but because my rice was freshly cooked, I feel like you can see that stickiness a little bit, like it's a little bit more mushy and stick together. I definitely recommend using older rice if you can, but it still tastes great like this. This is one of my family's favorite meals, and I'm very lucky because it is very budget-friendly. Benny's crying because he's very hungry. I personally like a little scallions on mine, so I happen to have them. I was going to put them on. I did not buy them as part of this, so I understand you can go without them, and they're going to be absolutely delicious. This is going to be great. You can put hot sauce on it. I like a little sriracha sometimes. Sometimes I like a chili crunch on it. You can add whatever you like.
Fried rice is always a huge hit in my house, and depending on how much you eat, you may have leftovers. We had a whole serving left over that Dan was able to take to lunch the next day, which was perfect. So we ended up with plenty of food in this one. For this next meal, we are making a honey garlic chicken. So because I had this boil in a bag rice, I really didn't want to waste, not that I would waste it, but I really wanted to utilize the rest of the rice. And I saw this awesome recipe for a honey garlic chicken. And I was thinking, let's just use the rest of the chicken for that. And then we can actually use the salad and the pasta and mushrooms to make like a mushroom pasta tomorrow. So I will get everything boiling and started for our rice. So you may be saying to yourself, Maria, but we didn't buy any garlic. And you're right, we should have bought garlic because garlic is very inexpensive. We could have used it in our meal last night. We could have used it in our meal tonight, and we could use it in our meal tomorrow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little clove of garlic to our cost because I think we have room to do that. And luckily I had a clove of garlic on hand. So we'll just pretend that we got it at the grocery store. So you can do what you want to try and get fat off, leave it on. But this is awesome because we actually get to use the entire rest of our chicken tonight for this one meal. This could be plenty of food. If you do not have the opportunity or you cannot get boneless, skinless thighs on sale for $1.99 a pound, bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs are also great for a meal like this. You actually just want to debone them, but you can actually leave the skin on. And you could actually debone them and take the skin off for last night's meal too. So you could just buy a larger package at about, usually those run somewhere between 99 cents and $2 a pound, and then take the bones out. And you're probably gonna end up with about the same amount of chicken, just a little bit more work, but it will work. Just gonna generously salt and pepper our chicken, and then cover it in some cornstarch. Now, if you don't have cornstarch, I know we didn't buy any, that's gonna be fine. You can actually use flour if you have that on hand. And if you don't have that, just cook it up with salt and pepper. That'll be good too. And if I were to do this again, I would put this in a bag, shaking it up, it would have gone a lot better. So the more you live, the more you know. The more you do, the more you know. You live, you learn. I have some pretty hot oil here. We're just gonna throw these pieces of chicken in. This is gonna make a lot. I totally probably could have just made 4 for my family tonight and then save the rest of the chicken and put it in the pasta tomorrow, and that would have been a robust dinner too. So whatever you want to do. While that chicken cooks up, I'm just gonna mince up a bunch of garlic. The recipe says just do a lot, so I'm gonna mince up all these cloves of garlic. This is really what I was looking for, more of a golden brown on these. So I'm gonna flip them one more time just to get that brown on the other side. All right, to make our sauce, we're gonna use a couple tablespoons of butter, but if you don't have that, you know, you use oil or ghee or something like that. All of our delicious garlic, lots of garlic in there. Soy sauce.
and honey. Soy sauce and honey, both things you can get at Dollar Tree. I'm hoping that you do have them as part of your regular pantry items. These are things that I keep around regularly. I'm just gonna add our chicken right back. Do it quickly because we don't want this to kind of burn or get overcooked. Already smells insanely delicious. I do have 2 other pieces of chicken, but I'm actually just gonna save those because we just don't even need that much right now. But you could definitely throw those in after, make up more sauce if you want. This is looking delicious. Just wanna get everything really well coated in this. We're only gonna cook it for a couple minutes because our chicken is really already cooked. But the sauce smells incredible. Dan says this is making the whole house smell incredible. I'm very excited. So I'm gonna slice this up, and the motto is gonna be, if you have scallions, use them. If not, you're gonna be fine. So I have tried some of this, and I mean, it's even better than it looks, and you can tell by the look of how amazing it is. And it smells amazing. This is definitely something that we have to add to the rotation. It's like intoxicating, basically. Today we're gonna be cooking up a chicken mushroom garlic pasta with a side Caesar salad. We're gonna basically use everything we have left, and we may even have some pasta left over afterwards. I still have my Caesar salad kit here, so we're gonna get that started and all mixed up. I'm gonna cut up the rest of this chicken that we have left over from last night, and I'm gonna mince 2 cloves of garlic. I also have some water starting to boil in a pot, and I seasoned that generously with salt. We're gonna pour our fettuccine right in there and cook it up according to package instructions, but we're gonna cook it 1 minute less than the package says. And the key here is gonna be setting aside 1 cup of that pasta water. I'm actually gonna use that in the pasta to give it tons of flavor. It's amazing what chopping up chicken can do. It can really make it feel like it's a lot more than it actually is. And I actually think that the cornstarch is gonna do a lot here, so I'm glad that I cooked this last night. I just have the cornstarch, salt, and pepper on it, so there's not really any Asian flavors in it. Well, there are definitely not any Asian flavors in it at all. But I do think that the cornstarch is gonna actually help to thicken up the sauce, and it's gonna be delicious. Now, I don't always serve my salads in a casserole dish, but I had this out, and I thought to myself, how beautiful a salad looks on a large tray. I always like to serve it like that when I'm serving something at like a meal that I'm serving to friends or like buffet style. I love to put a salad on a platter, and it makes people really, really enjoy it a lot better. There's just something different about that versus a bowl. So I figured because I have this out, we might as well put our salad in this today, and I think that my family will be more interested in it that way. We'll see how it goes. So in the essence of having enough sauce and everything, I'm just gonna cook up about half the package of fettuccine. We're gonna start by putting about 1.5 tablespoons of butter and 1 tablespoon of olive oil into the pan. If you needed to, I think you could use all oil, or you could use margarine, whatever you have on hand. So if you are one that likes to rinse your mushrooms, go for it. I don't care much for it, so I'm just not going to. It doesn't bother me. So super important with this recipe, this is pasta water, and I reserved more than a cup. The recipe initially says a cup, but I don't want to bet on the fact it's going to be a cup. So I want to make sure there's plenty of water for my pasta and make it nice and creamy, nice and delicious, especially with that cornstarch. So I just saved extra. And then about halfway through cooking these mushrooms, we're going to salt and pepper them. Then add another 1.5 tablespoons of butter, preferably, but you can do oil if that's what you have. And we're going to add in our garlic, and I'm going to add in my chicken at this point so it gets nice and warm through. After I delicately flip those, I'm just gonna kind of mush everything around, so I guess that wasn't super necessary. This smells incredible though, you know, anything with garlic and butter, pretty much a winner in my book. So I just let this go a couple minutes until that garlic is brown, the butter is brown, everything just looks and smells amazing. And we're gonna add in our pasta and a cup of pasta water. Let me rephrase that. We're gonna add 3/4 of a cup of pasta water. So I'm just gonna keep this next to me and add it in kind of to taste and see what happens with this. If I feel like we need to add more, we don't want dry pasta, we wanna make sure there's plenty of sauce, we can add more. I think this might taste good if you had some lemon as well. That would probably be delicious. It's amazing how quickly the pasta really sops up this sauce, because immediately that water kind of evaporates right up. So we can add a little more right in.
see in here, it's really getting quite creamy, and I'm just gonna keep adding pasta water until I feel like I'm getting the consistency that I want. It's gonna have a ton of flavor. I initially just poured everything on, and then I just decided to mix it right before I served it so it didn't get soggy. I was so impressed with that pasta water method for this pasta. There was so much flavor. The mushrooms really did a lot for it, especially with that garlic and butter. It was really fantastic. With a salad on the side, this was a very hearty and delicious meal, and everybody loved it. I hope this gave you some inspiration that you can do a lot with a little. Go ahead and check out this next video if you're looking for some more really inexpensive meal ideas. And remember that the next time you're on YouTube, make sure you're watching Meals with Maria.
No.
What do you think, JJ?
I give it a 5 out of 5.
Nice. And Tommy, what do you think? Oh, look at you, you're covered in strawberries.
If you say I don't have to I at least have to eat 6 mushrooms, I'll give it a 5 out of 5. But if I don't, then I'll give it a 0 out of 5.
Oh boy.